Now to our first story, and government's task force mandated to retrieve state assets owned unlawfully were in Nsawam to retrieve some state properties. I've been speaking to some members of the task force and they had this to say.
When you own bank or you own individuals and somebody the person takes you to court, well, that means and you've not paying your debt. Then the court will go to your house for execution. The court call it execution. When they go there and they find maybe a car or something in your premises, they seize it to show that go and pay your debt. Then you come for your vehicles. And then when that car's seized, all these cars now, you cannot pack all these cars into the court premises. You cannot leave it there. So that's why we are having auctioneers or debt collectors. So when the cars were seized, then the court will authorize the auctioneer to go for the vehicles for preservation. You see, for preservation. So the cars over here is not my own cars, which I bought it in with my pocket money.
Okay. So you are preserving them for the court?
We are preserving for the court. So the cars over here, when you put it on the screen, one, you embarrass the owners of the vehicles, you embarrass the auctioneer.
So do you work for the court?
I work with auctioneer. I'm not saying I work.
How many courts do you work with? I mean, we've seen about 20 cars here.
What I'm saying is, the cars which were parked in my house is the court property. You see, and then when the car parks here, and then the owner goes and pay his debt, the court authorizes the auctioneer to bring the car to the owner, so that the owner will pay commission for the keeping the car in our custody.
Yes, of course, we had information that there's a government vehicle at in Sawam. So we just called pressmen and we informed our boss in the office, and he said we should come and have a look. And true, we just come around. And we see SPD government vehicle, we see Land Cruisers, many cars, and we confronted the man. What he's saying is the car is a 6 cars from court, and he did not mention the court name. We wanted to know. He said no, he will not mention the court name. So now what we have been seeing here, the Ghana, the Parliament House, the court people, President, everybody is seeing, National Security Coordinator, Mr. Kendepa, Chief of Staff, everybody is seeing it now. I don't want maybe somebody to tell maybe we are lying. This is live. This is SPD government vehicle live. So now everybody has seen the thing.
How many cars have you seen so far?
Oh,
seen them?
The car here is at least over 60 cars.
Government cars?
It's 60 cars. Some are government cars.
Which car is a government car? Which one mentioned?
Some are, even this SPD, this Land Cruiser.
The Land Cruiser over there is not for the government.
Okay, so that's the auctioneer. That's the auctioneer. So as I'm talking, we cannot judge it here. It's only the big mess at the up who can judge. Our own is just pick the information and send the signal to Ghana government. So we have finished.
So what's next after this?
The next after this, if you need any information again, after we contact our big men, what they said,
and then you move on.
We will let you know. Then we'll continue.
That was Akwesi Abebrese. He's a member of the Assets Retrieval Task Force. Earlier you heard the man from whom the property was seized, William Ba, who is the owner of the property where these cars were parked. Let's take you to court now, because 32 out of the 52 persons sent to court today in connection with the gruesome killing of late Major Maxwell Mahama have been charged with murder. Police prosecutors are asking for more time to investigate. They've consolidated the 3 charge sheets into one and presented these before the court. 31 of the 30 suspects are to be remanded in police custody. Joy News' Joseph Akable witnessed the proceedings and has joined me with more. Joseph, so who's the last of the 32 and why is he not to be remanded in police custody?
Well, so first, what we need to understand is that the very first day when the case was brought to the Accra District Court, you had some 34 persons who were charged on 2 counts. The first has to do with conspiracy to commit murder, and the second being murder. Now, this time around, when hearing was called, some 58 persons in total were brought to the courtroom. Now, the understanding that is being put across is that the police have been screening some of them, and they've brought the number down to 32. Now, these are the 32 persons. For now, the police is clear in their mind that they have something on them for which they want to prosecute them with regards to the crime. So what happened was that they asked that the court consolidates the 3 charge sheets before it that has a total number of 58 into a single charge sheet, yet they were charging 32 people this time around. They also asked that the remaining 26 persons be discharged whilst the police continue to undertake further investigations to connect them to the crime. Now, these 26 persons were immediately arrested right after they were discharged by the court. Now, one gentleman in question, we have been told, his name was stated in the court records as Ebenezer Samuel. We have been told he is less than 18 years of age. Per our laws, for such a person, he has to be taken to the bus style and not kept in prison or police custody, as it's the case for the other 31 persons. So the judge asked the prosecutors why they were not doing that. The explanation they gave was that they have information that suggests that the gentleman is indeed more than the age of 18. But the judge said until such an evidence is provided, that gentleman should be taken to the bus style with the 31 others remanded in police custody. And so that was what transpired here in the courtroom. As expected, this is a case that has generated so much public attention. Lots of people made it to the courtroom. Behind me is a bit empty now because just about 35 minutes ago proceedings ended and the vans conveying the 58 persons have left the court premises. Same with the onlookers that gathered here, but quite a number of them made it today to the court premises, just like at the previous hearing.
Now, Joseph, you said that these 26 persons who were released or discharged were arrested immediately after. On what grounds?
So essentially, the point, per our laws, when you pick someone up, you have up until 48 hours, after which you need to go to the court to get a remand for that person in order for you to keep that individual. Now, what happened was that these are persons that the police have succeeded in getting a remand from the courts to keep them, but they are of the view that they don't have enough to connect them for now. They are still investigating, so they asked that they be discharged. Now, once that discharge was granted, they've again been picked up as suspects in connection to the crime. So it is on that basis that they've again been picked up. So what is being done is that we expect that within 48 hours, the police guys will be coming back to the courtroom to have them remanded. And as at July 6th, we have been told that on that day, which is their next agenda date, they'll be telling the court whether these individuals should be left off the hook entirely, or the police have, within this period, been able to connect something between them and the crime that was committed in Danger or Bus. And if they have that information, they'll go ahead to prosecute those individuals, in addition to the 32 persons that they are clear in their mind they were connected to the crime, for which reason they want to charge them conspiracy to commit murder and murder.
Thank you very much, Joseph Akable, for that report. My colleague there coming to us live from court. Now, the executive director for the West African Network for Peace Building, WANEP, Chukwu Emeka Eze, says there is the need for ECOWAS countries to have a common biometric ID card system which can be used across borders. This system, he says, can therefore store information such as the criminal history of persons resident in the sub-region, thereby preventing criminals from crossing borders to hide from law enforcement. He was speaking on the back of the arrest of a Nigerian kidnapper who has a family and property in Ghana. Mr. Eze believes incidents such as this should encourage law enforcement agencies to collaborate further to ensure the peace and security of their citizens.
Everywhere in the world, urban cities comes with this kind of characters. And in my opinion, the crime is not committed here. At least so far, we've not been told that any crime is committed here. So actually, it's about how the region is able to strengthen its policing and crime fighting so that a crime cannot be committed in Nigeria and Ghana becomes a safe haven for such character. So how intelligence is shared amongst the police chiefs, amongst the rank and file of the police, and how we strengthen community relationship with the police is what might keep all of us safe.
Now, beyond sharing of security, if you come to Ghanaians and Nigerians living among each other, there have always been some questions with regards to the business sector, for instance, where Ghanaians have been complaining that in some sectors of our economy, Nigerians or foreigners generally are penetrating. Will this stoke such, tensions among the two nationalities?
I really don't think so. I think there are basic laws that exist in Ghana, and including laws that guide operations of businesses and what foreigners should not venture into, and to the extent they can get involved in local business. And to that extent, if you go beyond that, and I'm sure that when you want to go into business, these are all spelled out. So when you go beyond that, the law will take its own course. It's not just about Ghana. If you go to Nigeria, I'm sure they have regulations about business. I think what is important is that we should not allow this kind of elements, few in number, less than 1% of the entire region, to undermine the good intentions of the ECOWAS integration agenda. Because ECOWAS, in the first place, is founded on the premise of regional economic integration and growth. And in this instance, they are looking for growth that is even. In other words, if Nigeria is growing in its economy, the advantage of the population of Nigeria should rub off on Ghana and rub off on Benin. A lot of people have argued that in order to increase the level of trade within the West African region, we need to even have a rail that cuts across Accra, Benin, Lome, and Lagos. And in that instance, you are allowing our people to trade even at the lower level, okay? Because not everybody can afford flight tickets to bring in their goods and services. And if you do that, you will be amplifying the tenets of the ECOWAS integration. And that's exactly how Europe is fashioned.
That was the executive director for WANEP, Chukwuemeka Eze. We'll take a quick break now. When we come back, we'll be taking you to the Ashanti region where mob injustice has been rearing its ugly head. Right after this break. You're welcome back from that short break. And a 38-year-old driver is currently receiving treatment after he was nearly lynched at Trede near Kumasi in the Ashanti region. The man is believed to be mentally unstable. He was mistaken for an armed robber. On Monday morning, he was seen behaving strangely while demanding custody of his 2-month-old baby. He went on a rampage, destroying property and injuring people after he was denied his request. It took the timely intervention of the police to rescue him from a mob which almost lynched him. Love FM's Erastus Asari Donko reports.
The residence of Nicholas, 38 years. And this is where he lives with his wife and a newborn baby right here. And people are shocked as to what triggered this whole violent attitude in him. As you can see, lots of destruction here, and this was all caused by him in the morning. And as the woman explained, a neighbor here explained, it started with him demanding that the wife gives him the newborn baby.
Into a call police station, I mean, I'm police phone said, Mimi Abema, the oil, Yantias Yanti, a friend of Papa, so about my channel. Now I'm on question of Papa bar.
After we sent the wife to a safe place, he went to the police station to report that we are keeping his child from him. When he returned home, we also went to the police to get him arrested. The officer we met couldn't come with us because he was the only one available. Instead, he gave us pepper spray to use on him. But we were unable to use it because he had become very aggressive.
It can be any ability or not just any ability. I may do crying who is a start here. Oh, say, woman, and I do a banish of
I'll buy it. Not send a note here, I didn't know it.
Me buy no kutani TV or debe bofum. Ah, Diane mo afi no asha se odi we say would meet in a bowl. E ba plastic chest. Sada DAB wa.
When I got here, he was causing distraction all over. Nicholas has never showed any signs of mental illness for the 3 years he has stayed with us. We are all surprised.
Sakra Oyarebi.
Nicholas ni ale or you be oya calm man ubuade we share so be si acha on you be oya violent so. On yes, I be that. Until here, one wants to be said to me.
Well, so when he left this place, he went over, smashed the glasses of 2 shops, and his shop included is a pharmacy just along the road. He smashed some glasses also at the Trade Palace, Sabia Krufum Palace as well. Went berserk, took a sugar from one of the shops belonging to a lady. And injured the lady as well. I learned she's also at the hospital. And then she smashed the windscreen of one of the vehicles belonging to GN Bank. It was at that point that he says the driver got scared, got out of the vehicle, and he took over the vehicle, drove along the streets, hit some 2 vehicles, one destroyed partially, and the other one damaged very well. I learned the driver is also receiving treatment at the hospital. So it was after those accidents on the road that they were able to subdue him, tie him up.
Reporting for Joy News, Erastus Asaredonko, Kumasi.
Now back to the Greater Accra region, and fresh documents intercepted by Joy News suggests the Ghanaian passport of the notorious Nigerian kidnapping kingpin was issued as the Accra Passport Office with the name Asare Nelson. My colleague Maxwell Agbaba joins me with more. Now, Maxwell, what are the details of this story?
Well, as you rightly stated, Daniel, these are new details, emerging right now from documents that we've intercepted here on the ground. In fact, I have in front of me a photocopied, version of the passport itself, and it states clearly here that it was issued here at the Accra Passport Office. In fact, after numerous photocopies of this particular document, the date of birth itself is not too legible, but you can see 29th April 19, something that looks like 78. And the hometown, you see Accra here on this particular photocopied passport. There are other photocopies of the passports belonging to the children of this Nigerian kidnapping kingpin, but they are not our main subject of interest here. We also have with us photocopies of the brass buildings, 2 one-story houses situated on the Spinters Road at Barcelona here in Accra. In fact, if you see, there are brass buildings, gated structures, 1-story units with a car parked in front of it, and we are told that these 2 buildings belong to the Nigerian kidnapping kingpin. It is believed that he bought these buildings using the numerous ransoms that he received from the act of kidnapping. Now, we also have another document from the Office of the Inspector General of Police of the Intelligence Response Team. That was the document was out on the 17th June 2017, and it was actually signed by the Assistant Commissioner of Police, ACP Abatari, and it lists the numerous kidnapping cases that they had to deal with involving this Nigerian notorious kidnapping kingpin. In fact, let me run you through just about 4 of them. One, Mr. James Ubiji, was actually kidnapped at the 7th Avenue Festac town, and he was kidnapped in Lagos State late 2015, and he was held for a period of 6 weeks and was made to pay a ransom of $1,200,000 US. And then there's also a second case of one Chief Raymond Okoye, who was kidnapped in Lagos State in the year 2015 and was also made to pay a ransom of $1 million US. There's another one, man Uche Okora, who's a trader at Alaba Market, Ojo, Lagos State. He was kidnapped in Lagos in 2015, was also made to pay $1 million US ransom. It goes on and on. And as I mentioned earlier, these are about 20 different cases listed here and issued by the Office of the Inspector General of Police of Nigeria. In fact, what you're also gathering on the ground indicates that after preliminary investigation is concluded in Nigeria, Interpol and the intelligence response team in Nigeria and some detectives will extend their investigations to Ghana, where several investments and properties bought from the ransom are believed, to be. So, Daniel, these are fresh evidence emerging on the ground about this kidnapping kingpin who has properties, family, and actually owns a Ghanaian passport. Daniel.
Thank you very much, Maxwell Agbagba, for that update. Now, you can stay tuned to Joy News for all the updates on this particular investigation. Now, the minority in Parliament has criticized government policy on supply of fertilizer to farmers. Spokesperson of the Food and Agriculture Committee, Eric Opoku, says the current arrangements will leave farmers poor and reduce yield. He was speaking at a press briefing this morning.
Executive officer of Cocoa Board is not clothed with the mandate to determine the producer price of cocoa for farmers. It is the duty of the Producer Price Review Committee to determine producer price of cocoa, taking into consideration several factors, including the economic conditions prevailing in the country, in order not to inflict untold hardships on our farmers. We are therefore urging the CEO of Cocoa Board to allow the committee established in 1984, which has since discharged its duties effectively and efficiently, to continue its work without any form of usurpation. Cocoa Stabilization Fund. In October 2014, the NDC government, under President John Dramani Mahama, established the Cocoa Stabilization Fund with annual contributions from the free on-board price as a risk mitigation mechanism against declines in the international cocoa prices. The primary objective of the Stabilization Fund was to apply it to sustain the earnings of cocoa farmers and to cushion them should the market price begin to decline. The recent decline in the price of cocoa internationally must therefore trigger the use of the Stabilization Fund to put smiles on the faces of our farmers. We are therefore encouraging the Chief Executive Officer of Cocoa Board to make it public how much is accumulated in the fund and its impact on the farmers in this critical period. It is also important to note that extensive stakeholder consultation has always been the means of achieving the best for our hard-working cocoa farmers.
Now, confiscated items belonging to drug baroness Nayeli Ametepe have been donated to 3 rehab centers in Accra. According to the Deputy Director of Narcotics Control Board, Michael Addo, they believe the items will go a long way to support the rehab centers. My colleague Patricia Gasu witnessed the operations of NACOP today. She joins us on the line with more. Patricia, what are these items which have been donated?
Thank you very much, Daniel. Chandeliers, picture frame, furniture, light stands with bulbs, and some electrical equipment worth hundreds of Ghana cedis belonging to jailed drug baroness Nayeli Ametepe were today donated to STAM's 3 rehab centers. That's the Datherick, House of St. Francis, and the Addictive Disease Unit in Kolebu. The shop, which is located at Joel, that's the motorway extension, is called the Nightingale Enterprise. And we all know that Nayeli was arrested on November 10, 2014 at the Heathrow Airport in UK, where she was having 12.5 kilograms of cocaine worth $5 million. And according to the director of the Narcotics Control Board, when they went there, because the court has already given the ruling, they were not restricted, so you just had to pick the items. I also spoke to one of the beneficiaries, that's the Addictive Disease Unit in Kolebu. He says they are not inmates, but they are just people suffering from addiction and they need help. So the furniture and then other appliances that will be given to them will go a long way to help them in their recovery. Like, for instance, in their reception and their waiting rooms, those items, they are new, so those items will help them.
So apart from the addicted disease unit of Kolebu, which other rehab centers have benefited from this donation?
As I mentioned earlier, we have the Daferic, and then we have the House of St. Francis.
Right, thank you very much, Patricia Gasu, for that report. Now, it's day 3 of the Joy News agenda. The spotlight is on the Lashibi-Klagon Road. Motorists and residents of the area dread the rainy season because to them, this marks the onset of several months of struggling to navigate terribly pothole-ridden roads. Matilda Wemega paid a visit to the area and reports commuters have had to trek to their various destinations because the drivers have parked their cars.
For several years, they have had to contend with the bad nature of the roads. The situation gets worse whenever it rains, cutting residents from the rest of the capital. This is the plight of residents, drivers and commuters who use the Lashibi-Klagon roads. This road serves as a major link to communities like Spenters, Sakumono, Ajay-Kuju and Ashaima. From the Shalom spot, a suburb of Lashibi to Klagon, it's a careful and a slow drive. A journey that would ordinarily take 15 minutes can last for over 30 minutes or even more on a rainy day. Frustrated with having to change the shocks in other parts of their cars due to the poor nature of the road, some drivers abandon their vehicles, leaving commuters stranded.
We've parked our car because of the road. The road is not good, so with 1 week or 2 weeks time, we have to do maintenance. And we brought passengers from Ashama. We got here and the car broke down. So we have to pack it and call the fitter. Since morning, we are here.
In fact, the road is not good at all. They have been sparing our cars because we normally walk here, so we normally get problems about our cars.
How much do you spend? How often do you go to the fitting shop to get your car fixed?
Every week. At least we go twice.
How much do you spend on that?
We spend, sometimes we spend 500 for the 2 days. Sometimes more than that. Sometimes the engine too goes to trouble like that. When the engine goes to trouble, we spend more.
But don't you think that it could be that maybe the car has genuine problem? It's not really about the road?
No, it's about the road. Because sometimes you enter potholes, you come in here and there, so it is affecting the car.
MP for the area, Carlos Ahinkura, has promised to repair the roads within 3 months.
As far as we are concerned, the contractors have seen reason to go back and work. It should tell you that if it is to do with money, they don't have a problem. Many people would stop working or will not work because they don't have money to go on. What we're looking for now is commitment, for them to commit to a certain particular date, that by September, by October, we're going to give you back your road and everything will be done and square. And that is what I am seeing. Then if I look at the speed that they are putting into this material time and to this material time, I know for sure that give it or take about 3 months' time, we should see the road completed.
Are you making a commitment?
No, it's not a commitment. I am trying to talk for them in this regard. I don't know whether I spoke to them already, but I can say that in 3 months, looking at the speed that they are going now, in 3 months we should see that road done.
The MP's assurance comes in the wake of ongoing works on the Lashibi-Klagon stretch. But after several years of broken promises, residents and motorists at Klagon Lashibi are skeptical.
Very, very poor.
Okay. I realize they are constructing some portions of the road.
They started constructing this over 10 years ago. Different companies come and they go. And when they come, the same thing. They will not do anything, they go. So that's how.
Now with this one, I see that they are doing the bridge, which is one of the issues about the road. They are doing the bridge, so you should be happy that with the bridge that...
Do you know when they started doing this bridge? You don't know.
How long have they been doing it?
It's been almost 5 years.
But now, as we speak now, I can see machines there, I can see people there working. So it means...
Do you know they can abandon it any moment from now? When the money is not coming, do you know they can abandon it? Are you aware of that?
No, I'm not.
They can abandon it because this is not the first time they are doing it. When they start complaining, money is not coming, they'll abandon and go away, and then later they'll come again. So that's why this road has been there all this while they are not doing it. They will do it when you go to some level. They say the money is not coming, so they have to just abandon the road and go away. So, and I've been here. I've been working in this company for about 10 years now. I can count a number of companies from my homes to engineers and planners. I mean, different companies. When they come, they do their parts and they go away. They'll be complaining money is not coming. So the nature of the day is very bad, especially when it rains. When it rains. Last Friday I went to an night at Kaneshi. When I came here, when I got here, I have to walk from Estate Junction to this place because you not get car.
From Estate Junction
to this place. Why? They just say road, so you not get car. They say the road is very bad, so you not get car.
For Joy News, Matilda from Ghana.
Terrible conditions there. Now, Interior Minister Ambrose Derry has announced that Monday, June 26, 2017 should be observed as a statutory public holiday. The day marks the Eid al-Fitr, which is an important religious day celebrated by Muslims worldwide to mark the end of Ramadan, the Islamic holy month of fasting. A statement from the minister says the public holiday must be observed throughout the country.